Welcome to this week's edition of the Bro Show Live number 17, the magic number. And I just want to say that this episode is entitled Happy ThanksGLINbing. I'd like to welcome the panel. And so to do that, I will pass it over to my co-host Sequence_MI. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, what's going on? I always do the welcoming around here. And we're doing the ThanksGLINbing special episode today, which Kate's not here yet, but I'm sure she will be here. She was part of the ThanksGLINbing. We'll go around the table really quick and introduce everyone. What's up, chat? First of all, Dankman Dam, Purple Thumb, Small Tubes, Buddhist Gardener. You're the first four names I read, so good job being here.
The loyal ones, the early birds.
They're like the guys that say first on YouTube. The OGs.
That's loyalty, man. OGs.
Kyle Gardner, welcome.
Kyle.
OG.
All right, Red Setter,
like
you're up
Satula.
first. Red Setter, where can everybody find you?
Hey, what's going on, cannabis community and Red Setter Farm? You can find me on Instagram at Red Setter Farm, caregiver service here in the wonderful Mitten, and can't wait to see what everybody's got growing on. Cheers, everybody.
Old man.
Hey, old man Herbert Hash. Do a little trimming. Finally got myself some chickamasas. Super awesome, loving them.
My dog ate mine today.
You have to eat your dog now.
While I was recording the last show before this show, my dog ate my scissors. No shit.
I had the best weekend. I'm sure we're going to get well into it, but it was a special time. I really enjoyed myself. Glad to be here.
Eagle, what's up, my friend? We can't see you. You're in the dark.
Good. Instagram, Mass Roots, Doobie, and for now, for some reason, Twitter, you can find me. Man, I can't wait to hear about this day I missed on.
Oh, man, it's so epic. Abolished and missed
Of course
cantaloupe.
it was epic. I missed it.
What up, guys? What's up, chat? Sitting over here trimming up one of these cute little autoflower plants. Look at that, guys. I probably got an ounce or half ounce if I'm lucky. But she's frosty.
But it was grown in like your veg room, right? So it's just extra.
No, I actually gave it a legit run. I had a room dedicated
did? Okay.
to autos. Yeah, that last Frugal series, I did autos. I'm still waiting on the microdots to finish up, but yeah, the yield wasn't amazing, but the bud's good.
All right. Spartan grown.
Hey guys, you can find me Spartan Grown on Instagram or Mitten Canico or Bro Show here on YouTube. I had a great time on this weekend. It was awesome. It was probably going to be the highlight of my month or so. But great moments. I'm happy to hear and talk about it. And it's like Kyle down here is taking No Shave November to a new height down there.
Kyle's ready to speak. Kyle, where can everyone find you?
Whoa, you got to say release the Kraken first.
They can find me right here.
I'm worried if I say release the Kraken, what'll happen? There's terms of service on YouTube. I just got a thing. They're getting ready to change it. What's up, chat? We're getting ready to talk about the ThanksGLINbing episode. Lots of really memeable, funny shit happened from like the very first minute I was there. Poor Skilbo. If you enjoy the show, please give us a like, subscribe, tell friends, etc. That's my sales pitch. I was the first one to show up, I believe, at Old Man's house, but very shortly after, like 2 joints after, Skilbo.
We measure time during those events. We measure time in joints.
Yeah, well, actually, quickly, I broke Old Man's plant, and while I was breaking his plant, because I'm an asshole, I was in his garden, and all of his plants look really good. And I've never really done this before, broken someone else's plant. We were sexing his glue sniffers, and I snapped one by accident. So we were taping it up. And while we were taping it up, Skilbo was getting ready to tell a story. So this is what happened to Skilbo while we were taping up this plant. He's typing in our group chat the whole time because he can't find old man's house, and this is what had happened at that point.
So, to start, let me preface this by saying that Google Maps let me down. And by saying that, I say this. At some point in this story, a shotgun and Skilbo are involved in not a good way for Skilbo. So there I was driving down the road, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm in the country. I'm from really far away from here, so I don't know where I'm going. And Google Maps is telling me, oh, it's within 500 feet. And I'm driving down this road, and there's like nothing there. And all of a sudden, there's like this cart rut thing that goes down this hill. And there's like this really nice fucking house back there, man. I'm like, oh, sweet. Look at this. Come up on this guy. Okay, good. Let's go. Looks like I'm early. There's nobody else here. So I go down this long and meandering, driveway. It's not paved. Doesn't look like it's very often used. I said, well, his name is Old Man Hermit Hash. You know what? This kind of makes sense. So going along with it. And I get out of the truck and I send a message. I'm a cigarette smoker, sadly. And so I was like, well, I'm going to finish the cigarette before I go up to the house and bother anybody with this. So I'm standing there looking at this property. There's a beautiful tree and fields. I'm like, oh, this is sweet. Then I hear this dog barking. I'm like, oh, cool. The dog, somebody knows I'm here. The dog is going to alert that I'm here. Cool. Somebody will come outside. So about 20 seconds later, the door opens and I've got my back turned to the door. So I turn around and there's someone there that doesn't look like Old Man Hermit Hash. So there I was, and this guy comes.
It's definitely not him, by the way. Definitely
not fucking him. So, let's see. As the story goes, I basically don't realize the severity of this at first because I'm just a happy-go-lucky 40-year-old stoner guy. You know what I mean? I'm like, no big fucking deal. I just pulled up the wrong driveway. He did not see it that way, apparently. So he tells me that no, this in fact is not Old Man Hermit Hash's property, and how do you know this guy? What's his name? And I'm kind of going, well, shit, what is his actual name? So no, I can't do any help there. So I'm kind of stranded, and he tells me, well, my son has a 12-gauge shotgun just behind that door, pointed directly at you. So hey, I've played cowboys and Indians enough as a kid, so put my hands up cowboy and Indian style and proceeded to back away from the vehicle.
Remember, he asked who you were looking for, and you said you were looking for your friend Old Man from a band.
Well, there you go. You got to think on the fly, don't you?
Which is way more clever than I could have thought of.
Which wouldn't be far off, considering, musical history and all that back in the day.
So that was driveway number 1. Google let me down more than once. So the story continues. The saga goes on. So I pulled up the second driveway thinking, well, I must have missed it by one. This house, also a nice house, but really far off the roads. Lo and behold, as I'm coming down the driveway, this big ass F-150 is coming up at me. It's like, cool. Okay. So I'm going to kind of pull off to the side a little bit here. And I'm not going to alarm anybody because the last dude was kind of a fucking kook. I'm good on that. I'm not trying to get shot. So luckily it's this, nice lady and her mom. And so I was like, oh, hey, look, I'm just looking, this isn't, no, it wasn't. And I said, well, the reason I asked is because I went to the other house next door, and the lady goes, oh, you went to the bad house. Yes, in fact, I did go to the bad house.
The bad house.
So I profusely apologized and said, okay, let's see. There's one more house, man. There's one more house. Fuck this. It can't. How bad can it be? It's got to be this one because Google isn't going to steer me wrong 3 times.
He thinks, how bad can it be after he had a gun pointed at him already?
Exactly. So we're going to play the Monty Hall. Let's make a deal. Let's see what's behind door number 3. Go up the driveway. There's this big truck in the driveway with the doors open, and there's somebody in the back like rifling around in it. And so, it's got the engine and the truck going. I'm not trying to spook this dude. This could be, she said that the other house was bad. Maybe this one isn't, or maybe this was bad house number 2. So I basically waited for dude. I'm like, good morning, good morning, good morning. And he must be deaf as well. So there I am, like a fucking stoned idiot, yelling good morning out. Like I'm some kind of, morning person myself. I was way too deep awake and bacon a long fucking drive to be other than. So, I get his attention, and he kind of gives me the weird vibes out of the gates, and he proceeds to ask me all of these other questions about, well, who are you looking for? I know everybody that lives around here. I know I've lived here for, one of those, I've lived here for 37 years kind of cats. So again, I'm stuck with asking about my former bandmate to no avail. He didn't know anyone in any band. He knew everyone else's profession, but lo and behold, not any band members. So I said, okay, look, I'm just going to get out of here, man. I'm going to go to the end of your driveway and I'm going to try to regroup. So I get to the end of the driveway, I get in the group chat, and I'm like, help, man. I'm fucked. I'm just going to go back to town. Somebody can come get my fucking,
He's ready to throw his hands up and drive home.
No, I ain't going home now. Come on now. Let's not embellish so much. So the guys send me a picture, and luckily I get flagged down. So the first thing we do is have a really good laugh and smoke about it. And we end up going into the kitchen, and we got to, let's pass the mic along to Old Man where he can pick up the story now.
Well, we dabbed in the morning, which I usually don't do. And
it's tradition on ThanksGLINbing to dab every morning.
It was pretty much confusion for me all day because I just started the day with dabs, but it was awesome. What did we do? I don't know. We went out to the shop and we hung out for a bit and checked out some plants, and we just got rolling along, talking and smoking, and people started showing up around noon, I guess. And it continued on for the day, and it was amazing. There's a lot of great conversation, a lot of, it felt like a super genuine camaraderie. Nobody was the weird asshole of the day, or like nobody, I don't know, took a shit on the floor and did some old school breakdancing or anything like that. Everything was cool. So I was really appreciative of that, My wife was too. It was great. We loved it.
Yeah. She immediately wanted us to come back. We got away with doing all of our smoking, all of our debauchery. Old Man cooked amazing food. Everybody brought amazing food, actually. I brought my cookie dip stuff that went over really well. I already gave the recipe to like everybody in the group separately, which is really cool. I felt like an old lady at a bake sale. Everybody's like, hey, can I get your recipe? And
I ate so much of that stuff, I don't know.
I just ate it right before this. And then Kate had medicated pie, and I think Miss Cantaloupe brought medicated pie.
Oh, hold up, wait a minute, because Kate had that little nerd like gummy thing.
Yeah. Have you eaten that yet?
That my morning, man, that just slid me all the fucking way out.
She warned us about those, so I got 3 of them.
Before the podcast, what's the one called? Growing My Fellow Growers. Before that podcast, I ate 2 of those pieces of the pumpkin pie. I wasn't smoking too much during that fucking podcast.
You're gonna go quiet during this one in the second hour too. Trust me, that stuff's gonna get you.
I just had a Spartan cookie before this one, so I should be sitting pretty good here in a little bit.
But anyway, so we got away with all of this because I bought Old Man's wife a lamp, and everyone was laughing because we were in the barn when I told them all that I got her a lamp, and they're like, whatever. And then we came back in, and she was showing off the lamp to people. She actually did like the thing, so it was a good party gift. Let her know that we appreciated her, all the stuff you got to do when you're hosting a party, cleaning up a house and all that shit. But, I don't know. We smoked.
You got away with it because of the lamp. You got away with it because we all acted right, but the lamp was a very nice.
We really did. Like, everyone did really well. I was proud of the crew.
The most impressive thing I can say is that if there was a time that I didn't have a joint or a blunt being passed to me, then we were eating. But otherwise, there was always something going.
There's a picture, I think, of everyone in the group at one point having 2 joints in their hand. There's one of Kate holding a joint and heating up my dab rig at the same time, which is pretty cool. We went pretty hard. We were trying to collect the joints in the same place. So in one area we had 19, but we smoked several in some different spots. So it's hard to say how many went down exactly.
I said the floor was going to be like Gettysburg at the end of the day. Just sweep it up and look at all the dead soldiers there.
You're right.
So I will say everyone would probably be curious because I rolled a bunch of joints. I think Kate probably had the best one, her big
That
blunt.
cannon. Yeah,
We
the
rolled
cannon.
that, or we passed that thing around for like, it was bigger than the one she's holding now. She was showing off a little bit, but we passed that thing around for like 40
Flossing.
minutes, probably. I'm not
Yeah, I have to
exaggerating.
say-
40 minutes. It was there for a
I have
while.
to say respect to Kate and to Abolish for changing my mind on blunts because I've always hated them, but I had no problem with the blunts there. they were fucking tasty.
No, that Abolished was smooth and flavorful, man. That was really nice. Hit real well.
What did you think, Red? You don't smoke blunts either, and you hit them a couple of times.
I thought that one was with the real tobacco leaf on it. I thought that was delicious. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had tobacco. I don't smoke cigarettes or anything anymore, but that was good. I haven't had a blunt in like 2 years. I smoked one with my cousin on his wedding day. That was the last time I had a blunt. So yeah, I mean, it's been a couple years even still. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I will say the ones that Abolish did, because he used wraps, his tasted more like smoking candy than cannabis to me. But it didn't, I wasn't like coughing like crazy like I usually do. So it was much improved over my typical experience.
It makes a huge difference when you wash the backwoods. It's like all of the weird like chemical taste goes away, and then it really is. It's like tobacco, but it's not ever overwhelming. It's just like a nice add-on or whatever, and then you can load a bunch in there. But it was super cool for me. Like it's really nerve-wracking to have like weed people smoke your weed. You know what I mean? It's cool for me to be able to like pass my weed around and have you guys be like, "Oh, this is so good. What is this?" You know what I mean? Like that was a big deal for me.
Well, Kyle was there in spirit because of the Moby, man. Everybody commented on that, man. Everybody.
So I still
liked
have
that
the
shit.
Moby right here. I was going to roll it for this show, so I'll do that now. Because Skilbo actually gave me the rest of the Moby for this show.
They actually have it on anymore.
They love the Terps, bro.
Got to hold it in front of me so the green screen doesn't take it out. But Skilbo drew Moby on there on the bag, so it's pretty classic.
I just traded a bag of weed for my neighbor's weather vane that had a giant sperm whale on top of it.
I could see you
Whichever
doing
way
that.
the dick blows.
I'm actually building a house. I think I might build a cupola for my garage just to put that fucker up there.
Just to spotlight a little bit more.
It's like furniture, right? Where they just make up fucking weird names for shit just because they can.
No, that's
What's
a true
cupola?
like. It's the addition. Think of like a Cape Codder, but on top. Like it's like a building, like the Capitol has on it. It's a cupola.
And a cupola.
It's like when somebody tries to explain something by adding another complicated thing on top of it.
Francis
Picture-
Ford Cupola.
Picture like a little baby house with a little baby roof on top of your garage on the very point. But tiny,
Interesting.
like 2 by 2, like by 2.
With little windows in it.
Okay,
you can do whatever the fuck you want. Put a little bell tire up there for all your fuck that.
You should get the
You're gonna
Elias
put a
Brothers
sperm
guy, the
whale
big
up
boy.
there.
Put my big old dick.
When the dick blows.
So what's up, people? How y'all doing? God, enough about your party. I'm sure it was lovely.
Sorry, I
you
was
want to talk about more
distracted.
about it. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to add? I mean,
Let's talk about you. What do you got going on?
y'all smoked a lot. And
We
y'all
swapped a
fucked
bunch of
it was all
clones
hot.
at the party, actually.
We had a lot of edibles there too. Shout out, shit, it was Canna Kate fucking killing it with the pies.
Killing it.
Fucking Abolish gets the fucking cup in my eyes for the fucking Abolish's scissor that he's got going on. That shit is the fucking bomb.
Is that the name we're going with? Scissor?
That's what I'm using. I don't
We
have
were trying to
anything-
settle on that at the
I don't have anything
party.
else to call it. He's got to come up with something better.
Hey, I mean, the people, when the people name it, you can't go against that. I mean, scissor, it is.
All right, sounds like a deal.
I was just sitting there being high as fuck the whole time and then trying to figure out the math of how many milligrams I consumed the whole time. I was like, can I squeeze one more in?
I liked when
I
you
get it.
stopped to do the math before eating something else.
He's
You're
sitting
like,
at the pie. He
Yeah.
goes,
how many did I eat? Yeah, like looking at which kind of pie he could eat next. 'cause
Yeah.
there's milligrams.
he goes, Kate, how many milligrams is this pie? How many milligrams? All right, I can try this one. Okay, I'll try that instead of this.
I just came up with another alternate name that we can use instead of scissor. Since somebody's already doing that, we can set you apart. Is we can call it abolished aid. The whole THC thing, you know what I'm saying? So I got some nods on the panel. There you
I
go.
like that. I like that.
What's
I
with the
definitely got to
do,
get it
Kyle?
figured out, man. Especially if old man gets this figures out how to dry it out and turn it into powder. That'd be really cool.
Hey, skill ball
Yeah, the
sequence. I was
The
wondering,
plan is to take
how
it
did,
and,
how did I link up with you guys?
What do you mean? You
Was
want to
it
meet up?
Bless- Was it Blessed Farm? No, somebody
No.
I sold clones to.
Nope.
No?
It was Meds in the Country. Shout out to him.
Okay. What's up, Meds? What is it again? Meds in Country?
Meds in the Country.
Meds
You
in the
know.
Country. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a minute there. Yeah, I stopped doing clones for a little bit. So I was wondering, because I know right around that time I met up with like a shit ton of people. So I just took my best guess. So that's cool. Appreciate that fool for hooking us up.
Oh, for sure, man. He's
What's he
definitely
up to? Where's he at?
He is doing really, really well with a lot of the clones that he's running right now. So yeah.
Still in the game. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure, man. You should hit him up.
That's cool. Man, I highly advise anybody that ever wants to run CO2 to not get CO2 tanks. Pain in the balls.
Why do you
It's
say
just
that? I
like, why?
prefer them.
It's just like, why? You know, it's such a pain. And then by the time it's all said and done, like you will have paid like so much money just to run these fuckers back and forth. You know.
Well, how long do they last you? I mean, how often you got to switch them out?
For me, probably like that room, probably like a week.
Yeah, that's a pain in the fucking dick for sure. Jesus.
Well, I got 3 tanks, so you know it's like every 3 weeks, but still, it's just like pain in the balls, you know. And
What size tank are you running? Are you running just a 20-pound tank?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get
downstairs.
a 50-pound tank, man. That'll change your fucking world, man.
You
Last you a
gonna
month.
carry that fucker down the stairs for me?
Yeah. No, man. I just do it on mine, and that's it.
Have you ever seen Kyle? He looks like Mario in person. He's like a very small person.
David,
I'm like
very small
5'10". I'm not that. I'm just a little skinny. I'll give you that.
No, it's everybody else on the panel's like 6'2", 3.
I'm just
We
lazy.
love you, Sylvester Stallone.
I am not trying to do that.
When I was doing that caregiver house, I did CO2 tanks, the 50-pound ones. Actually, that's why I get a super good discount at one of my grocery stores, because I dropped one on my foot in the parking lot, and the dude thought that I broke my foot, but then I like just picked it up and carried it in there, and he was like holding the phone. He was like, I was gonna call you an ambulance. I was like, no, man, I'm straight. But like, yeah, those things are a bitch to haul around. You can like drag them though. You're fine, Kyle.
Yeah. How about we just get CO2 burners and call it a day?
Well, there's a problem with CO2 burners. They off-gas shit, so.
That's why you exchange your air.
Well, if you're exchanging air, why the hell are you adding CO2?
You only need to exchange it like once a day. Just a quick little dump. Yeah, because there's that shit, I forget what it's called, but it's a shit that stops plants from ripening.
Yeah.
And plus, there's a whole other cycle than just like the CO2
Is it
cycle,
ethylene?
cycle and other shit. What is it?
Is it ethylene?
I don't know, it doesn't really sound familiar, but I haven't heard the name in a real long time, so it could be.
I would think ethylene would make them ripen. That's usually what it does.
Well, it's the same shit from what I was reading and shit. It's the same shit that they pump into the trucks of like semis when they ship like fruit and stuff to stop it from ripening or stop it from continue to over ripen. So it's the same kind of concept. You're right. If it's off gassing some shit, but whatever, dump your air.
Yeah, like I had the 50 when I went from a 20-pound to a 50-pound tank. It went from like every week I had to switch it out to every month I had to switch it out. I mean, and it was like, I think it was like $15.99 for the 20-pound, refill, and to swap out the 50, it's like $20, and you're getting over twice the amount. So like, it just makes sense to do the 50 if you can.
Still lazy. Not like to do more work than I have to.
Hey, I love you
Yeah.
guys. So if you're using those 50-pound tanks, strap them to the wall. You don't want those things falling over. I've seen a lot of places with them not strapped up, and I'm
Safety
pretty sure
first.
that's I mean that's like an OSHA code in most places anyways, but
No,
one of those
I
things
love
falls
it.
over,
You heard
I
it
love
here
it.
first from Red Center
Rocket.
Farms. Strap it up.
rocket through the wall, man. I love you guys, so I don't want that to happen in anybody's grow room.
I'm also a firm believer of wearing hard hats in your grow room. You never know. Light could fall.
Those dank ass buds might fall and conk you on the head for Flintstone style.
Man,
Gotta
I
watch
just
out for
smashed
them,
my
for
head
them
on a
flying
light.
dicks. You're right.
Knowing Kylie wears a jet ski life vest in his grow room.
I'm just completely nude with a hard hat.
I never thought about strapping them to the wall, but I did always consider, like, if I got into an accident and the nozzle got knocked off this, which direction is it going to blow up? You know what I mean? And, like, not directly through me ever. You know what I mean? Like, when I was putting them in my car, I would, like, make sure it wasn't going to fucking kill me if I got in an accident and it knocked. So, like, it's a real consideration, Red.
It's as
I
simple
always
as
worry
using a
about-
screw, a washer, and some chain. You literally just have that, and then you put an eye hook on the other side of the wall so that you can wrap it around there, because you're going to have different size tanks. Don't get too technical with the shit, man. Just like in the restaurant industry and stuff, wherever they have CO2 tanks, he's right. They do have an OSHA code for it. So, be safe with it. It is a potential bomb that could, if it falls off, which way is it going to go?
I like that you say that. Also, if you ever spill water, I want everyone to grab one of them yellow caution wet floor signs and make sure you mop it up and then properly place the wet caution sign over the spilled affected area.
Are you writing SOPs, Kyle?
No, what I was going to do was I was going to grab that sign and hit myself over my own goddamn head for being such a fucking klutz. That's how the lesson is learned.
Fair enough.
You can do this all day, baby.
But make sure that sign falls in the proper position once you knock yourself out. Just, boom, triangle.
You don't want someone else to have a slip and fall, and then you got litigation.
Yeah, you
Kyle's
don't
got
knock your braces
those.
off either.
Taken down.
Kyle's got a handicap sign in front of his house.
Actually, the accessible ramp.
Again, because he's lazy.
I also have a dumbwaiter.
It's got this sign down the road that warn the people that are driving past that it's like an area where they should watch out.
Be careful. Kate lives here.
Always. Safety
Shout
first,
out to,
gentlemen. Safety first.
Smiley's Garden's giving us a tip here in the chat. Said that that hard hat's going to keep the sticky trap out of your hair too. So boom.
Ooh.
And
Oh,
protects
man,
from those errant fan blades as well. Don't forget.
I have touched my arm against the sticky trap thing before, and that is the worst.
I've taken them to the face. I've taken them to the hair. It happens.
That beautiful hair?
Sometimes you take the stickies. Thank you for that comment.
Can't believe you hang them that low in your garden. But
I too have taken a sticky to the hair and to the forearm.
Well, the hair and the face is the
worst.
problem. It's when you're working in the nude and you get one to the dick. And it just right to the
Speaking of, the dick is really good. I'm trying it right now. Very tasty. Skilbo grew
Quote of
this.
the show right there. I'm trying the dick now.
You
Really
can
tasty.
see the old man's.
Really tasty.
I think old man's a little uncomfortable all this dick and stick talk.
No, sorry, my kid.
We
was
did a
just-
lot of hugging yesterday, me and old man.
I haven't really been here for a second.
Let me get you caught up. Dick and stick. And we're back.
Yeah, his chap walked in the room to give him a hug, and Steve was like, "I got the dick right here."
Boom.
Daddy's sitting in the corner of the room listening to these guys talking about sticking dicks.
It's a conversation starter for sure.
We do mark all the podcast episodes explicit content because we're generally talking about cannabis. So
no joke. The cup in Clio, the last one in Clio, what was that? June? Whatever that one was. I had my dick piece up front and center on the table. I don't know if you guys remember or seen it, but I had a picture, or I had a sign that says "Take a dick pic and go vote." and people would read the sign, and they would generally get very upset at the sign. They would be like, "What do you mean take a dick pic, huh?" Especially a lot of like, well, it's a lot of people in general.
You should have had the book out there too, and maybe
And-
taught some people something.
It was kind of hostile. I'm sort of surprised from the people for that.
Well, once we pointed out the Moby Dick piece, they were slightly embarrassed, and then had to take a pic at that point.
Bold move.
But let's be real. What you really want to do is just strip off your pants and just fucking gyrate all over them, and see how they reacted to that. Right?
Now it'd be different also if you had a video of you
I'm
doing
past
said
those days.
naked gardening.
I'm probably getting myself in trouble here, but I used to have this move called the Pido, pull your dick out. It works like probably about 40% of the time.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
Got to judge your crowd, got to judge your crowd.
These days, you're just getting arrested doing that.
Yeah, exactly. You can get away with it when you're a little younger, but college days. But when you're walking around with your kids and you just Pido, it's a bad look.
It's a bad look.
I actually was going to do it on the when I won the Cannabis Cup. I thought about it, but I just yelled "fuck yeah" a few times, and I think that was about it.
That's an alpha move for sure.
That's one way to make sure. That's one way to make sure you're not going to have any pictures in the magazine anyway.
Or you might be up front and center. Kyle's dick steals the show.
Eagle, how are you doing down there, man? I love that you reached up to unmute yourself and turned your camera off.
I know, isn't that funny?
Your weed's working, my friend.
Oh, shit, it is. Man, I'm just sitting here listening, fucking still envious of all you guys that attended yesterday. It sounded like a fucking great day. It's a great story so far. I'm just
We
here.
breezed over hours of fun. Like, we missed a lot of stuff.
I especially enjoy Skillboy's intro there. That's pretty comical. It's a typical Google experience right there. One thing I'll give Google for credit, and I'd like y'all to know this, is many people don't know this, is Google is now telling you where the cops are sitting on the highway. It'll tell you speed trap ahead. Something legally, they have to post it where they're sitting. And I enjoyed that on the highway Friday. It gave me about a half-mile heads up, but it was right on every time.
It's funny you mentioned that. I heard a story today that Michigan State Police are complaining that their job is getting harder because of legal marijuana.
I would imagine their job is harder because of that. They can't use smell as like reasonable cause and stuff like that.
Well, we've always been low-lying fruit too. Like you can always go round up a couple of stoners back in the Prohibition days and stuff. Hey man, there's real crimes taking place.
They were terrible this weekend on 69 and Center Road in Genesee County. They were pulling people over, swabbing them, and arresting them right there all day,
Ooh.
Friday and Saturday.
My Google thing will tell about a half a mile after I pass a cop. It'll say, "Was this photograph still there?" I'm like, fuck Google. That would have been helpful like a mile ago. So it's good to know that it works for some people. Hopefully my phone will update or whatever, and it'll tell me beforehand. But it does always ask me.
Just not quick enough, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Not actually helpful, but. Also, I wanted to say this blunt that I rolled is from Old Man's Outdoor, and it has a bunch of Red Setter's hash in it. And all the bowls that I packed myself tonight are Red Setter's hash and either weed I got yesterday or have Red Setter's hash in it. So thank you for that.
So jealous.
I was telling my buddy, here, let me rephrase. We've got carrying limits here in Michigan. I came home with approximately X quantity of cannabis and 3 grams more wax than I left with, and probably 2 grams of hash, and half of an edible pie, and a bunch of other edibles that I did not have when I left my house before we went to the party, which was crazy. Due to the hospitality of everyone, and I guess nobody can eat all of that medicated pie.
Bless you, Jesus.
I definitely tried, man. I fucking ate my limit. I'm pretty sure I got pretty close. So.
Oh, it's so great. You're sitting there computing, what you could.
Yeah, I was just trying to stay somewhere below 200. I'm like, 200. I know I'd be fine. Somewhere in that neighborhood. So, but I was probably the highest I've been in a long time. But we never really stopped smoking. It was, we took breaks from smoking, and I was there from like 1 to 8 or something like that. So.
I think you had more than 200 in just pie.
It was great anyway. The real question mark was, that the abolished aid. You know what I mean? Who knows how much is in there? And with the added terpenes, I mean, I know I was feeling great. That's all I got to say. Thanks to everybody. I was feeling excellent. And here's something I'm shouting out to something that wasn't even medicated. Shout out to that fucking gravy, old man.
Oh man, the food in general was really good. I mean, old man killed it on the turkey. It was really moist. It was really, really good turkey.
I put that it was like the gravy. It's not the thick gravy. It's the gravy that was like thin, and like it makes everything moist when you fucking use it because it just soaks in. Shit was fucking on point. I put it on everything. My whole plate.
I felt bad too because you brought gravy, and I was like, "Oh, I'll make gravy," I felt bad that you brought it, but I know the power of a real gravy, man, and I'm capable.
Yeah, it was just an afterthought for me. I was just like, I made mashed potatoes, and I'm not going to bring gravy. A lot of people like to have gravy on their mashed potatoes, so I just bought something. But no, I was super, super impressed with your gravy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm real picky on food, and I ate a lot yesterday, so that says a lot. Like, I normally don't eat shit, even at events, man. I don't like other people's food, but yours was good.
So, Poops420 in the chat, shout out for the name, first of all, says they tap out at around 75 milligrams on edibles. So, I don't want to do like no pissing match or anything because we consumed a lot of everything yesterday. But quickly, like, what are the quantities of THC in some of the edibles we had? Like, Kate, I know you had 2,000 milligrams in pies.
The chocolate pie, yeah.
Between 3 pies, right?
Yeah, the chocolate pie was 1,000, and then the pumpkin pies were each 500. But
I had the chocolate. The chocolate was bomb, man.
I had both, and the pumpkin was the best.
Everybody had pie to take home. Like, there was so much of it somehow.
Yeah, we took home probably half a pie, and it's gone already. We've already smashed through all of that.
Abolished, what were your guys' edibles, roughly? I think you're muted. His microphone died on him. No, not per slice, per pie.
That sucks.
And I couldn't imagine 1,000 milligrams per slice. There you are, Abolish.
Yeah, she said Miss C did the math on it. What did you say it was?
45 for the individual pies.
45 for the individual pies, and then the Kool-Aid, I mean, there was about 4-ish grams of rosin put into a couple of cups of infused sugar, so whatever that is. It's all high-grade rosin, too, and it was good stuff.
Yeah, and then we had edible cookies. Spartan brought coconut oil, capsules, and cookies. Spartan's wife makes amazing cookies.
I had one of those today. It was pretty good. I only had one. I should have had a couple. But hey, I had a headache, and it helped get rid of my headache earlier. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Awesome. I'm glad that could help you.
Oh,
it's kind of nice sometimes having those really small doses that you can get with the coconut oil to just like, I guess microdose is the best way to put it. And
yeah, it was totally a microdose. It was exactly what you told me it was. It was probably around in the range of like 10 milligrams, and like it was subtle, but you know, I went out about my business throughout the day, and it definitely wasn't overpowering or anything. I could probably, well, okay, I could take a couple of them. Let me tell you that, you know, maybe the novice user might not want to go for any more than the one that I had, but good stuff, man. Nice.
I've
Thank
had
you.
people tell me that one is perfect, and I've taken 10 myself. So I mean, it all depends. It all depends on the person for sure.
Were those Spartan cookies that you gifted us with as well?
Yep, they just didn't this
Awesome.
time. I usually have chocolate chips in, and we ran out of chocolate chips, so it's just minus the chocolate chips, but it's just as potent, maybe even
Well,
a little bit more.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't eat them. Miss Red thanks you for them, though. She's going to love them, man. Appreciate it.
No
Much
problem.
love. Thank you.
So Scobo's got my outdoor crescendo over there.
Funny story about outdoors. So I forgot about all my outdoor plants when they were drying, and I just found them the other day.
How are they doing?
They're dry as fuck.
So what do you do now?
Cut them.
Just blast them?
No, you can put them with humidity packs. People in dispensaries used to tell me they use celery. I don't know if they're talking about that. But yeah, just fucking put some humidity packs in them, and they'll be good to go. Or yeah, you just give them all the dabs and let them blow them all, because I don't really fucking care. It's probably a good, I don't even know, pound or 2 pounds. I don't even know.
This old school dude I used to work with would tell me about taking like brickweed and breaking it up and putting it with like orange peels, because he could make it taste good and it would make it like hydrated again.
Yeah, one of my first outdoor crops, like way back there, I think like 06. My buddy did that. Me and him, we had this outdoor crop. We kind of split it because he helped me cut it and fucking like bring it back and shit like that. So I gave him a bunch. And yeah, he put orange peels in it and left it in there for a while. And like pretty much the 2 or 3 jars of weed I gave him molded up. So don't leave them in there. But
Basically anything though that'll add moisture will add mold over if you leave it in there.
yeah.
I like to use fan leaves, believe it or not. Just take a couple fan leaves off and throw them in the jar, and that'll rehydrate quite a bit. And you don't get a non-cannabis flavor at all.
Has anybody ever rolled Canagars?
I haven't, but I really want to. I'm trying to get a Canagar press.
I have one. You can either have it or buy it or have it. I don't even care. I got 2 different
Yeah, let's
presses.
do it, man.
I got all the shit to do it. I used to roll them, and I just never knew about how to cure the leaf. I know there's like a process. I mean, I never really figured it out. I just always used wet leaf, which I don't know if that's probably good or bad because it's wet.
So to remove the chlorophyll, you take them and you like shock them in hot water, like if you're gonna like peel peaches to can them, you know what I mean? So you get like water and dunk them in there, and then you put them in isopropyl alcohol, and it like leaches all the chlorine out, and then you rinse them in cold water again. But so the part that I can't figure out after that is how to like dry them. But that's how you remove the chlorophyll.
I almost want to say we did something like that, but I don't really remember now. We never really figured it out, you know.
Yeah, it's like as soon as you put them in the alcohol, like you set them in and you can like shake it a little bit, and like you can just see the chlorophyll like shake out of it. It's crazy how like.
I remember putting them in a paper towel, and it like we like. And there's a way to make food coloring like that too, isn't there? Using the green of the leaf.
Probably. I mean, you could take the ISO and, or you know what I mean? Like it's the ISO turns green.
If you're soaking it in pure alcohol, I'd imagine it would dry just in the air. If you could just lay it out, because alcohol kind of just evaporates in the air.
Definitely. And I can get 99% ISO.
You have to dry it so that it's like pliable enough to roll with. You know what I mean? So like how to dry it like a leaf then. Also, when you just lay it out, it curls up, especially when the chlorophyll is out of it, because then it's like they're like kind of rubbery or like soft. They tear easy until they start to dry. But like, yeah, I tried like laying them on paper towels and you stick to the paper towels. I tried like laying them out underneath like saran wrap. That'll work good. Like they'll start to dry out, and then the second you like touch and remove it, they like get all fucked up and torn. So yeah, I tried to figure out how to like do the leaf wrap thing though.
Maybe press them in like some wax paper or something similar with a little bit of heat, maybe help.
What everyone's trying to say, Kyle, is you got to send me one of these presses so I can show you how to do it.
It's definitely barking up your tree, man. You're the big cigar
I'll figure it
aficionado.
out.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely huge into cigars. I really have been wanting to roll one of these for a long time. I've gotten a hold of a couple of guys on Instagram, and I'm just like some Etsy stores. Sometimes you get a hold of people and you just wait, and that's kind of where I'm at. So I don't know. I would like to try it for sure.
And I'm back. All right, here it all is right here.
Nice box,
Boxing, yeah, an unboxing.
Yeah, it's got this. It's got two. I bought two different sizes. So this is a 10 by 32, and this is a 10 by 42.
So those are in ring gauge or millimeter?
Yeah, it's gauges.
Okay, so ring gauge is in 64ths of an inch. So like a 32 ring gauge is 32 64ths of an inch, if that makes sense. So the larger the number, the larger the cannagars will be.
Right. Yeah, I got that. Got the packer. You put this on there when you roll it on the leaf on it. Got all these special little tools. This shit's called Goma. I tried that. It's like what they actually use in actual cigar making. Goma.
Is that like for the glue?
Yeah, glue. Yep, exactly. It's like some basically sugary shit.
Yeah, it's plant sugar.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be a natural source.
Yeah, man. You can try it out.
Yeah, definitely. Looks cool.
I actually made a few grand off these things one time, but I had this kid rolling them for me, and then he just decided not to roll them for me anymore. But Kyle Gardner's secret to the world, pre-rolls and shit, man, those things are going to take over, I think. I think pre-fucking packaged joints and stuff. You've seen some of these like loud packs and shit out in California already. Like, packaging's cool. You get 5 hand-rolled pre-rolls, like the Jungle Boys, 5 packaged pre-rolls.
How much are those going for? Are those expensive? Because that's gonna what it can come down to is if you can.
That's a good point.
Like let's say the Jungle Boys ones, that's usually really pretty expensive. So it depends. Some people will buy it simply for the branding.
Right.
Yeah, how expensive are those packs of pre? Do you know, Kyle? Like a 5-pack of pre-rolls?
No, I don't know, but I've heard I've heard anywhere from $5 to $10, 10 to 15, somewhere in that range.
For a pre-roll?
I know my dude, he always goes out to Cali, so I'll ask him.
So the thing that's interesting to me about what you're saying is like, I'm a grower, so when I go to the dispensary, I almost never look at the flower. I look at pre-rolls for convenience, like, whatever.
You never look at, where the fuck are you? You never look at flower?
Never.
You never compare your shit to the top shelf shit?
Yeah, after a while, you just stop.
You're missing out, man. It is a lot of fun to go to a dispensary and just take whatever $50 and get 1 gram of like everything they got on the menu and try it out. I love it.
I love when you go in and they're like, they're trying to educate you on they're doing their job, I guess. Like, this is the sativa and this is the indica and these are all the percentages, and it's like, I just want to read the names and I don't need to know the THC percentage of all it's like they think everyone cares so much, or maybe that's how everyone buys it, but I don't look at flower that way. But anyway,
dude,
like I
end up telling them shit, man. I end up telling them definitely. They don't know everything, man. Yeah, I know. I get a couple grams
of concentrate in a pre-roll instead of buying flower, like you're saying, Kyle. And I think that's definitely more of where the market's going to go.
I used to deal with a bunch of different dispensaries, probably like close to like, I don't even know, 20 or so, 25. Like, from the time they first started, I did clones here and there. There's a lot of how they were used to work is like they get shut down, and then 2 or 3 guys would branch off. One guy would start this one guy would start that one, and then they'd have my number, so they'd call me. So anyway, I used to deal with a bunch, and it was kind of funny because like I would give all my clones out, like back in the day, and then like I'd go back in the shop, 10. 10, I was just say 10, like a couple months later, and you'd see all the different flowers, like all the different flowers from all the clones I gave people. And it was always fun to see, like, you know, what people were doing with my strains, like good or bad, like how they would come out. But it was always good to just compare, use that like as a benchmark or a gauge, you know?
I'm excited I'm running your Sunshine and Haze right now.
Yeah.
From seed. So I'll be putting that one into flower soon.
It was always fun too, because like some dudes, like some people, like you knew they were fucking good. Like you'd see some strains that I gave them, and I'd be like, "Wow, dude, you fucking grew this out with my strain. Like that's fucking impressive." But you know, like that Candyland. I don't know if you guys ever grew Candyland. Like a lot of times, like you'd see it, and it's a real finicky plant, so no one would really be able to grow it. But like this one dude, I think his name was like Bill. He always fucking nailed it. Some guys just know what the fuck they're doing.
I think that's going to be one of the most awesome things about this last meeting here is, you know, so many of us swapped strains that, you know, that we've held on to, a lot of us for a long time. So it's going to be really, you know, great to see how they perform in other people's gardens and other people's grow styles and what they can change.
Man, so
you know what I
much.
mean? You know, have them, you know, who knows, in 3-4 months or whatever, we can come in and come together again and smoke, you know, a strain that I know very well, but grown by other people. It's going to be
well, and you know, something else that's cool is that we're all going to learn about growing from this too. So like I got blue cough from you. Maybe I'll run into a plant problem that I haven't seen before. I'll ask you for advice because it's your plant, and you give me a tip or something, and then I've learned something that I can use on all of them from then on out, based on knowledge that you have from growing that for years or whatever, and vice versa. You know, everyone getting strains from other people.
You guys heard of the grow off?
Like
No.
Eagle, your 9-pound went to a couple people yesterday. Kate got one. Spartan got one, I think.
There's this competition called the Grow Off.
Nice.
And what it is, it started out west, and they're trying to get it into Michigan. Last I heard, they were coming, but I don't know. I kind of dipped out. Haven't heard of anything in a while. But it's basically they pass out a mystery clone. And this is the one reason why I don't want to do it now, because before they gave you 6 months, and with my growing style, like I would much rather fucking have the extra couple months to, you know, spread numbers. But they gave you a mystery clone and so much time, and then they judged everybody on the same exact clone. It was the same identical clone. So at the end of the time, they would pull in, you know, all the harvest, and then they would scientifically judge them, like from like terpene concentrations and shit like that. It wasn't just some guys would smoke it and be like, all right, this one's the best. It would literally be by the numbers. Like this one had, this guy had the biggest yield. This guy had the best, you know, there's like terpene concentrations and shit like that. So there's a couple different awards they give out, but there's the baseline of everything is identical clone. So there's no variation. You know, it's not just, the Tropicana cookies fucking won, you know, because 10 guys out of the 20 guys that voted like orange flavor, you know, the other guys fucking hated it, but since the majority won, you know, that's kind of how democracy works. The majority wins. So, but like with this competition, it gave everyone that. So it's kind of along like along the lines of what you guys were saying, and along what I was saying. Like it was always cool to see like the different variations in within the strain, and it's kind of remarkable too. Like, you know, different nutrients and different lights and different, you know, wind speeds and shit, and how it fucking really affects the overall bud production.
And that's the coolest thing, I think, is that like this is not even in the like it's not even a competition really either. So nobody's really like stressed in the aspect of like they want to maybe even withhold information because they want to win. You know, this is just like we're just like have this free knowledge. Like I'm super interested in how the plants do with sequence. Yeah, that's just I'm super interested in how they do a sequence because it's a completely different style. I mean, I'm organic. I've been growing with them, and he'll be putting them into a synthetic aspect. So I'd love to see the differences there. You know,
I have the same old argument, which is that I'm excited. I took 4 things yesterday. I have a sour melon, I have some of this crescendo that I'm about to get that's ground up from Sequence. It's the outdoor. I got a Gorilla Glue number 4 through Spartan Grown, which he got originally from Med Grower 1. And I also got a Skunk number 1 from Abolished Farms as well. So I told him I was happy and I wasn't going to pop anything new because these are already these guys' keepers. So they've already done the heavy lifting for me to a certain degree. Now it's just a matter of, does this work for me or what I'm smoking for? And I'll tell you what, I got knocked out cold today smoking and getting carried away with things, so definite fire. And I'm really glad to be running it in my next garden.
I am gonna pop the auto seeds that Abolished passed out just because like whoever makes it about there being like free space in your room. And I think that'll like keep me from popping seed packs I don't really need to be popping right now, but also like, like I got 9 pound yesterday, I got the Abolished OG, and then I got sour melon, but I still like I'll always want to pop seeds. I think I'm gonna do the autos from Abolished and try those out too.
Skilbo said I was addicted because I told him I was getting ready to pop more seeds. He's like, dude, you're addicted.
Got it bad, man. I hit you with that Chappelle one where he's scratching his neck.
Well, it's like Kate was kind of saying, that's where I think autos kind of fit a spot indoor. Is that like for me, I've got one going in the corner of my mother tent, and it's scratching that itch of, at least I can pop a seed right now. But it's not like a total huge commitment because you don't have to worry about cloning it, and it doesn't take a whole lot of food, and it kind of just does its own thing. So you're not really popping new genetics, but you're popping new genetics. So it's kind of a cool thing.
I
One
can't
and
wait.
done.
Oh, go ahead, Scobo. Sorry, man.
I'm just going to say one and done like your favorite NCAA college basketball players.
They all
Hey,
are fucking
Abolished,
crazy.
man. I gotta thank you, dude, because I've never ran any autos, and that pack of autos that you gifted me is gonna do me well in the springtime. I'll probably maybe I'll pack one and toss it in the bedroom or something. I'm gonna be moving everything, so I might wait it out. So thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Rock and roll. Garden's gonna love them in the spring.
That's what got me started. Shout out to Morningstar. He hooked me up with some autos to try it out because I was on the fences. And I enjoy the bud, but I haven't got the best yield off them, so I'm gonna try them outdoors now.
I love purple weed,
Yeah.
man. That's great. Purple microdot. That's pretty cool. I can dig it. I dig the name too. That's pretty cool.
Red loves
But
purple bud so much, I was surprised when he rolled something that wasn't purple. When he pulled out his sour diesel, I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I needed to give you guys a little something with some flavor to it. Nice
That
little-
purple microdot is like if you get the purple pheno, because there's I think a green pheno too. But the one I have is a fucking monster, and it's like purple from the get-go. Like the very first little calyxes that form are purple. It's not a strain that you have to wait to the end for it to turn purple. It is purple the entire time. I don't know how far. I probably still got about a month or so to she's all the way done probably, but looking really, really cool. That's for sure. Super impressed for it being an auto. I was figuring it was gonna be a small plant. It's fucking blowing out a 2x4.
Yours is insane, man. You're gonna get one of those 20 ounces that are on record for that microdot, dude. Like, I'd be lucky to get that on auto.
What?
Because even you look at mine, it's pretty. It's not a bad size, and it's still got another 20 days to go.
I don't care what they're watching.
But I think you're gonna get a ridiculous yield.
Sequence. Dude, you know what it is? It's this this crescendo is what's getting me, man. Just fucking slides me, man. I'm so happy to have this right now. Woo! Man, this is Ethos, correct?
Yeah, it's Ethos, the crescendo, and we smoked that. I think when we smoked that one for the first time, Red commented that it was a psychedelic, It does have a
That's
really
what he said too.
it does have a really euphoric buzz to it, and a really sweet, like the cookies flavor comes through on that better than a lot of cookie strains. Like everyone that tries it, they immediately say that it's sweet. So I think that that's really cool.
But there's also like a citrus aspect too, which is kind of something I've been chasing lately. So that's why it was so attractive to me. I'm glad I snagged a clone of that up when I went out there. I'm excited to grow that one.
If you get a chance to put that in a king palm too, like there's something about the crescendo and the king palm. It brings out the flavor in that strain. It is just delicious when we smoke is out of it. I love it so much, way more than out of a joint. It's crazy.
Yeah, I really like it a lot.
It was the showstopper of part 2 of the Smoke Down when we hit the shop.
Crescendo's sticking around for sure.
I'm glad I was there for that King Palm crescendo. That was tasty. That was smooth. It was real smooth. I liked it.
Because I just sat there and trimmed the whole day. I was listening to everybody's conversation and stuff, and it was just like trim a little bit, here comes the joint, trim a little bit, here comes the joint the other way. Somebody would break the cycle of which way it was supposed to be going. You know what I mean? Those curveballs that they throw in the big ciphers where you get, multiple things going around at once.
Well, the true detriment to a keeper strain to me is one that you can run indoors and outdoors, and it holds up both places. And you guys have all had the indoor and outdoor, the crescendo now, and it held up both times, I think. So that's why I plan on keeping that one around. I'm really excited that people were excited enough immediately after smoking it that they wanted to grab clones of it. So that was really neat. I wish I would have brought more.
And that's what's really cool about, being in a group like this where we can come together and, where else can you smoke the final product before you make a decision on if you want to bring it into your garden? I mean, that's kind of a powerful tool.
Well, we've got some good growers here too.
I made sure I grabbed that yesterday I got a bunch of new genetics yesterday, guys. I can't thank y'all enough. Like for real, especially finally getting the Spartan glue from you, Spartan. I mean, been trying to get that clone forever from you. I'm excited about that. Got that. I got the Crescendo and the Citral Glue 6 from Sequence. Blue Cough, Snow King, GG4 and Spartan Glue from Spartan. And I also got Delato from Old Man, which I need to do some research on, but I'm hearing good things from everybody else that was around.
Those plants were beautiful.
I spotlighted Kate's video because she's showing that's called Twaxed, right?
I think so, but
I think that's what that's called.
I think that's called flossing.
I think that when you twax a joint, it's
I can burn myself with it.
Yeah, it always drips off and burns you somehow.
We had so much good hash yesterday too, man. That's like one of the secrets to the whole thing is you look around and you go, man, there's so many good things here all at once.
Hey, do you guys believe in keeping your strains in the dark for like 24 to 48 hours before you harvest them?
I think it works really, really good. If you can do it. I'm in perpetual now, so I can't, but
Dogman, he swears by it. He says everyone that he has doing it, he says that their production has increased like a good amount.
So there's like scientific kind of evidence behind that. You can look as a parallel to the wine industry. They like to harvest the grapes before the sun comes up. And it's the same kind of deal for us because we got all these terpenes and things that can volatilize off in the air, and as it gets warmer, and the light itself can make them, degrade. So if you can get them in the dark for 24 hours, I'm a big believer in it. I've tried it, and I think it's, it's not something that's going to be a huge difference, but it's something where you notice a difference. It
is a noticeable difference, and I think even for people like us that are in perpetual, we can do that. We can harvest right before the lights turn on, or right after, or whatever, and try to gain advantage of that.
In Sequence, just a tip for you or something to think about maybe will be possible is if you could just build out a small little room, or if you had an extra 2x or a 4x4 tent, you have a perpetual, you could just like harvest in quotation marks by just grabbing those pots out of a 4x4 or whatever you're harvesting, throwing it in that tent and just letting it sit in there in the dark. It doesn't have to have too many temperature controls, except
I could
for
throw them in the
That's-
drying room.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Is I just put them in the drying room, and it's already
That's a good
temperature
idea.
controlled. Let them finish that way.
I actually
Yeah.
have a temperature controlled drying room.
So yeah, I would just throw it into the dry room then, and 100%. Then you can sit it in the dark for as long as you want, and then you want to go ahead and do your harvest, and you're right there already. So
I knew we kept you around for a reason.
it's just what I do, man.
Hey, we know it does work. Do we know why it works?
Yeah, so it goes back towards for cannabis. We're talking terpenes and the oils and the cannabinoids. Light degrades it, and heat degrades it. So if you're harvesting with the lights off, that's both the source of light and heat. So because it can sit in the dark for 24 hours, it's expecting that light to come on in the morning or whatever per se. So it actually increases its terpene production because it's expecting that to happen. That's terpene production in its oils, its cannabinoids, and its oils are almost like a sunscreen the plant uses to protect itself from the heat and the light. So
it's basically 2 days of not getting fucked up.
Yeah. Yep.
What about turning your fans off and shit? Or do you think that would fuck with humidity and moisture and shit too much?
Well, like I said, yeah, I would be. It may help, but it's for sure been shown in studies that like stressing them by not giving them water, letting them dry out. So I would say that it's probably better to have the air movement so they dry out a little bit.
Now dry out to the point of wilting?
Like right before wilting. Like
I think it's environmentally specific though. Like if you have a dry room, then you might want to try to slow things down so that you can get it to dry the way you want it to. If you have a really moist basement that you're growing in, you might want to think about maybe doing a really heavy de-leafing right before the end so that you're getting a jump start on your fan leaves. It's just specific as to like what you want to do. There's always like a way.
Our buddy Jack Greenstock, shout out to you, Jack, in the chat. Love your stuff, dude. He says it works because terpenes can volatilize as low as 68 degrees, and most terpenes will volatilize off at 75 degrees. So that's part of the reason.
Just remember, if your grow room temperature was above that, they're already gone, baby. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's why like latent flower, my room doesn't get above probably like that, like 78 to 70. Yeah. At least I try.
So yeah, 68 to 70, you're saying?
Yeah, like latent flower. I start out around 80 and 82 in flower, and then I work it down to about 78.
People smarter than me say something about esters at that point, that those are really, really the things.
Well, it goes to the interesting thing, right? It's like as growers, we get to the essence of the plant that no one else ever gets to feel. Like when you're in the room in its final days and all those terpenes are in there that you'd never get to smell in a bag, you never get in a concentrate jar. The closest you get is probably like live resin, but it's really magical. Some of the strains, they have some really crazy terpenes they're putting off there at the end when you're chopping them down.
Good example. Shout out to Abolish there. That what was it, Wizard's Apprentice? That was the first weed I've ever smoked that actually left like a stinging,
like spiciness.
Yeah. Like a real spicy.
And if we weren't mixing it with like whatever 15 other cannabises, it'll actually give you that kind of euphoric feeling you have in your brain when you eat spicy food. Like you feel good, you feel happy. It was really cool. I don't enjoy that flavor at all on it.
When I used to cut the Moby, when I used to wet trim it, we'd have like me and like 10 people cutting that fucking shit for like 2 or 3 days, and it'd just give you a headache at the end of the day. We'd be cutting for 6 to 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it gets right in your nose, dude, and it's just there. It's like offensive.
Dude. Yeah, I'd be running that when I used to run the that machine. I'd be running the machine and I'd be like, no, this sucks. I gotta go. Leave you guys to this.
I need some fresh air.
There's some terpenes that are just crazy for me. I'm starting to get almost allergies to it at work with, exposed to a lot of it at once. Like GMO is like, forget about it. When we're in there bucking GMO, if I know beforehand, I'm taking allergy pills before I even go in there. And my nose is going to be instantly running and I'm going to be sneezing, but it's one of those.
We were moving plants around today, and my dude, he's like a little ginger, and he was just getting red as fuck, dude, just tearing up. Like he was hit. He kept had to leave. Like he cannot handle anything, like rock wool or plants. Like he's just straight allergic. But I know I talked to the guy from Ocean Grown Seeds, Vader. I don't know if you guys know Vader. He's actually grown an allergy to the pollen because he's fucked with pollen for so long that he breaks out in hives and shit. He said if he comes in heavy contact with it these days.
Yeah, Jack says in the chat that people have been allergic to linalool and limonene, and government studies have found it's like a food allergy. So I don't know if that's in GMO or in what you've got, Kyle, but
Yeah, we've had trimmers go home. Like, yeah,
I mean, just knowing that means that other terpenes could have the same effect and just not be known yet.
I had a girl last time that was helping me. She had to keep taking breaks because she kept getting a big headache. She couldn't deal.
Some people just don't smoke the loud, man.
Just trimming it, just couldn't be around it, or it's got obnoxious. Because yeah, there's a difference between like fresh cannabis and like cured and dried smoke.
Oh, it's so loud when you're wet trimming or when you're just pulling down the plants and bucking it, like you were saying.
I don't know. I really don't notice anymore, just because I've been around it for so long. Probably. I mean, I could still, smell a little bit, but I used to get really pissed, like when my fucking people would be like, "Yo, this place smells," and I'd be like, "Dude, it doesn't smell like anything." They'd be like, "Oh, my daughter smells." I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about," But that's just me, like being immune to it, I guess.
You definitely get smell immune, and people should remember that if they're growing in their house.
Well, to my dismay, I probably wasn't running it, and I know that for sure. Wasn't running adequate filters. You should always run like 5 times as many filters, literally probably 4 to 5 times as many filters as you deem necessary. And they have this thing for the your furnace. It's like an ozone machine. It basically, like the ductwork, it like slides in. It's like an ozone thing, and then it just you turn it on, and your return air passes through this ozone and like kills all the smells and pollens and molds and shit, so that your house is nice and fresh and clean.
This is your yearly update to change your carbon filters. If you don't think it stinks, invite somebody over and see if it does.
Absolutely. Change them before you think it's necessary too.
And the other thing is, don't run an ozone generator in your grow. And you can do DNA damage to yourself fucking around with that shit. So do some reading up on things before you go fucking around in the cheap way.
Always run ozone generators in your living space. I'm just kidding. Okay, just joking, people. Say it again. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Genetic damage.
I used to run the Juvenairs, which were big. I think I ran like the 8-inch and a 6-inch, but they were big things that you hooked up to your ductwork, and you turned them on. One I think was 1 bulb and one was 2 bulb, or they both were 2 bulb, either way. And you had to have a certain CFM because the ozone had to bind with the air and kill all the smell. Because I was running back in my amateur days, I was running my smell outside my house, so I wanted something to kill the smell, and that was my best option. That, and they made inline filters too, which still are cool. A couple Michigan-made companies. I forget the name of them now, but they're pretty good. I think they make a inline filter too.
They have a similar thing with like a UV light inside the ducting for like killing mold spores, like powdery mildew, things like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yep, UV light in the ductwork. Yep. We sell them. We used to sell them at the they sell them still at the grow shop, Ultra Green Hydroponics in Redford, Michigan. Ultra Green's awesome, man. If you guys ever need a sweet grow shop or in the area, they literally have everything you'll ever need for growing. And I've tested them on that because I used to work there, and we would just order everything I ever wanted. If you want something, they'll order it for you and probably keep it in forever as long as you're gonna buy it.
That's a good store, though. I mean, I know I still remember stores that would stock my favorite microbrew if I asked them. They'd be like, sure, they'll just put it over here, as long as you keep ordering it. And that's how you keep people coming back.
Yeah, them guys are really awesome about that, man. They got a huge fucking selection, and it just always gets bigger and bigger because they're always just keep ordering shit in. It's like piling to the ceiling now. It's like one of those cool places.
Kyle, we've got a question about what's on your head. Somebody must not have been here earlier. You got to put it down for him. He doesn't want to do it.
I just did. It's my hair, man. Yeah, my dreads.
It looked like the beard off of Pirates of the Caribbean. There you go. Kyle's got somebody in the background cheering him on. Might be his wife making fun of him for talking a lot again.
Probably.
It's probably the wife that made it for him.
She's applauding with the improvement of her view.
What's that dude from Futurama?
Dr. Zoidberg.
Jack's laughing in chat.
Oy.
We got a Zoidberg impression out of Kyle there. We can clip that one. Abolished.
We keep it professional here.
Keep it professional. Yeah. Always.
Yeah, shout out to Mitten Canning Company. I hate to have to plug myself all the time, but for real, the best GMO I've ever smoked. If you people are GMO fans, try to track that down. It's good stuff. It's really heavy on the garlic. Like, I mean, I don't like to guarantee I don't like to guarantee anything, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna get garlic if you get it from us. So,
see, that's
are you guys gonna keep growing it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. We fucking crushed it with that, man.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna want to keep growing that for sure. I'm sure.
What were the numbers on that one?
Well, we hit 3.3 pounds per light. We use 18 lights in 3 tables in a room, so we just crushed it. So it was like over 60 pounds, just over 60 pounds.
Yeah, we got to keep asking you that so you can brag about that because you guys did a hell of a job.
Yeah, how many weeks was that for?
That was 70. We might have took that 77 days. It was in the high 70s. We grew that one out.
But it pays you back, though.
Yeah, to get it right. I mean, to get that. I mean, we just do it right. You know, it's the care. These shirts they hooked us up with. You know, even on the back of one of them, my favorite. It's got a hashtag. It says caregiver crafted, and it's kind of that mentality. Like, we're gonna harvest it when it's ready, not, you know, when it's done, not when, you know, on an 8-week schedule or whatever. So many day schedule. We just run it till it's done. That's, you know, 77 days. It's 77 days.
I'm gonna run it. I've got a guy I can get the real GMO from. I don't even have to get it from you guys.
I want that cut though with that because I like
Me
the combination
too.
of the
I think
garlic
it's the
and
same
the GMO.
one.
Mm.
Yeah.
Who was it? Skunk Master Flex? Is that where it came from? I used to have that
Yeah, that's the real cut. Yeah.
I used to have it from. I got it from Family Tree. That shit was the shit.
What's your impression on it as a grower then?
I fucking hated it. Got rid of it.
Really?
Yeah, fuck that thing. 77 days? Piss off, bro. I don't care. You can harvest 3.3 pounds all day, but at the end of the day, you're losing out on almost damn near, 1 to 2 harvests at the end of the year. So, fuck that. I'm on a schedule. I can't afford to keep it going. No way.
Yeah, we're right now with the market the way it is. Like, we're getting paid well for our flower, and you know, with 6 flower rooms kicking, yeah, we can afford to do that. But yeah, I can see where, you know, at a smaller scale, it's not going to.
Still can't afford to do that. I don't care what you say.
You can't. Well, I'd hate to challenge you, but I mean, we're doing it.
Bring it all day. All right, I swear to God, bring it. Never mind. Not on here. We'll talk later if you really want. I mean, I'm all about it.
I mean, if we wanted to just like go down the avenue of just pure profits, we would just fucking grow that exclusively. I mean, we've killed the yield on that over everything we've grown so far, and with that kind of a yield, we can more than pay for all of our expenses.
Sure. I love to argue, but not here. And personally, I don't give a fuck. Good for all you commercial guys out there. Hope you guys shove it.
It is a competition for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's just I've seen it. I've seen this industry. You know, I was one of the first little closet growers, and now to see people like that, like took flower rooms. Well, that's cool, man. That's cool. I know. I've got friends that have 1,000 lighters too and shit. And like, fuck it.
Oh, we're not even close to that big. We're small when it comes to the. I mean, when I say commercial, I'm just saying we have a commercial license. We're only 1,000 plant count. We don't have that. We have anywhere near 1,000 lights.
Yeah, I know. I got friends in high places, but I don't care to speak about them. Good for them, and I wish them the best. But a lot of them, some of them are sellouts, and they admit that. They've said it to me. But to each their own, you know. I'm gonna continue to roll on. On that note, love you guys. It's been fun. My wife's yelling at me, so Kyle Gardner. Catch you next time.
Later,
Have a great night, Kyle.
Later,
Rock and
homies.
roll, dude.
I feel like there's a way that we can look at this. We can look at this and realize that just like any other market, there is a demand for production scale to be able to do things quickly, and that extra harvest a year, if that's what you're shooting for and you are happy with what you get as your ROI, then I say run with it. And I say that also, just like since we're Michigan, we can talk about our craft brewing. People have shown time and time again in the state that they're willing to pay more, an excessive amount more, to be able to find that crafted thing that they just dig, and that's what they want. And so to be able to do that on a commercial level, you have these cuts that come in and they get passed around, and everybody is basically trying to do their best rendition on it. So I feel like if I want to pay extra, I'm going to have to pay extra for these 12-week plants, man. Just that's the way the game goes. And hopefully they produce it well enough that they're able to get endorsed for that. So it's a business.
To me, GMO is unique enough that it is worth the extra flower time. Whereas all of the other strains that are 60-ish days taste like all of the other strains that are 60-ish days.
Somebody's going to hate you for that. Somebody's going to flame you and say, well, this is and that is. We get it. We understand.
Well, no, I understand the nuance between all the different indica strains and all this, you know, but like what GMO brought to the game with like the garlic flavor itself, garlic cookies, is really unique in itself. And I think that lends itself really well. If it didn't have the yield that it does, no one would grow it with the long flower time.
And to go right along with that,
because it can back it up, it's worth it still.
Right, but there's like 3 levels of growing. There's like the me guy, which is me. So I'm not going to grow a plant that I don't want to smoke, or I'm not going to grow a plant that isn't going to work in my system, and I'm not going to grow a plant. I mean, I can come up with 50 of these fucking things, and it's cool. We all should have those kind of thoughts about if we're being efficient enough and if we like what we're getting as a return for our investment of time and money and everything else. And then the next level would be the caregivers. The caregivers definitely don't want to spend their time and money growing products that their patients don't want. That's being a shitty caregiver. So there we go. We just crossed it off of that list. And then we have the commercial level, which is the higher one. They're going to get weeded out. There may be a gold rush, but just like the gold rush happened, yeah, there were fucking an X amount of people, but at the end of the day, there wasn't. They weed themselves out. You just have to vote with your dollars, man. If you want to support local, man. Be all about it.
And like that's the market that we're shooting for. And maybe Kyle was, you know, coming from an aspect where he's looking more like quantities to have a fixed amount of money coming in every time that you can count in or something like that. But we take the aspect as like, no, we're going just like when we were caregivers. It's like what we're all dreaming of with our home grows is being able to open our own company as a micro business or whatever and do it at a larger scale. That's kind of what we've done, is just like increased what we done as far as the care that we gave our plants and how serious we took the job as caregivers, and we just upscaled it, and we've got more caregivers. You know, we got 3 of us, 4 of us, you know, however many people we have as employees to help us do what we need to scale up. We throw labor at it instead of throwing automation at it for a lot of the things, and that gives us like the caregiver craft. You know what I mean? Every plant's getting touched where, you know, and the people that are way bigger than us, it's almost physically impossible to do that kind of thing. And so of course we have to go for those strains that are going to stand out, because to waste all that labor and time and energy, you want to get a return for that. And you do that by sourcing really good, unique genetics, like a GMO. That's a unique strain. That's not something, I mean, it's very different from a lot of other strains. And if it's going to take a little time investment to get the best out of that, well, that's just what we want to do. We want to put the best product out there, because by the time you get that product as the end consumer, it's degraded from the best it ever was, because it had to sit waiting for testing. It had to get packaged. It had to, sit on a shelf or in a jar somewhere until it finally got divvied up to the, you as the end user. So we want that quality to be set at the absolute peak we can get it, obviously, so that at the end consumer, it's as high quality as we get to begin with. So we're chasing quality over like quantity. Of course, it has to yield, but it's not a super deciding factor, I wouldn't think.
I'd also like to point out, because this Kyle's thing with the if you take it in 60 days, you do get an extra, possibly 2 extra harvests a year. That's something that I've followed for a long time. But if you do the numbers on it, and if it's like, say, like Spartan was talking about the GMO right there, if that's a strain that you're consistently running, those extra 11 days or whatever, that could mean the difference between a, say, 3-ounce plant and a 7-ounce plant. And if you're doing it at a certain scale, you might end up being better off running that 77-day strain or whatever than taking it in 60.
Shout out Can Grow was talking about that on the Growing with My Fellow Growers, just about that. And I nodded my head then, and I'm nodding my head again. I get it. Yeah.
For me, I could only do a 12-week strain if I was a personal home grower. I can't personally see it as a business being a wise thing either. I mean, because, and I'd like to backtrack and say one thing. I agree with Skillbo in saying that it's the craft market that's going to save us caregivers, and the home grow is what's going to keep that alive, is everybody's want for the craft grow. But as doing it as in a fiscal, no, you can't, because you can only get so much at market for that. I mean, the price can only take you so far, versus, if you can do multiple flips, you're going to ultimately do better, because you're only going to get so much at market for that. There's something to be said, and I'm glad there's growers out there like you that are willing to take the time and, put that effort into that. But again, it's a financial thing. You guys have to get paid. The lights have to stay on.
I think
you have to keep things going.
I think you'd be surprised how high that price people are willing to pay for exotic strains. Like Jack's in the chat, in California, even where they sell $90 ounces and less, you can buy $100 eighths there still. So
but we're still in Michigan.
Right. So that means
there.
I mean, I think it is.
It's just not there.
It's definitely there for concentrate, so I don't see any reason why it couldn't be there for flour.
You'd be surprised what you could get paid for a metric flour right now, especially top shelf metric flour.
You'd be very surprised.
Oh, I agree, because there's a shortage right now. But once we start to get where there isn't a shortage, you're not going to get that for your extra time. It's going to fall right back down, and
the market's definitely going to change for sure. I mean, we're not seeing any kind of stability in this whatsoever.
I think there's always going to be a market. It might not be a huge market, but there's always going to be a market for quality product that you know what to expect from. I think it's important to build a brand so that your customers know that the flour that is in, probably packaging would be the best way, but so the customers even know that, hey, I know what farm grew this, because that's, I think, a big lacking in the industry right now. You don't really know who grew your flour. I've asked bud tenders and they can't even tell me. So it's kind of sad that the growers, the ones putting most of the work, a lot of the work, we'll say at least, into the product, don't even get credit for it. But so I think it's important for growers to brand themselves, and I think packaging is really probably the avenue to do that. But I think there's always going to be, if you can do that, if you can identify what product is yours, If you can build your brand on a reputation of a high quality product, like, you know, there is in all other aspects, we could compare this to alcohol, we could compare it to whatever. And people will pay more for a higher quality product. So I don't know. I think part of that higher quality would be to, you know, run it to the end, you know, run it to the end, get that product like that. So maybe you sacrifice this time, but by doing that, it's also, you know, running past the law of supply and demand. The demand, if there's a demand for that flower, people will pay it because the supply is never going to be high because people don't want to run them out.
Especially if people don't want to grow it. Yeah, if you're the one guy that's growing it out that long, then you can charge whatever you want to charge almost.
Like if you have a really like psychedelic sativa that's been around since forever that you've got, and you know, but you got to grow it 12 weeks. You can charge
some
more
of those
for that,
hazes
get away
go for
with it.
16, brother. Some of those, man, you can just keep going and going and going and going and going with them, man.
Yeah,
You know?
I 100% agree with you, Eagle, that that's not for like probably 80% of the market, but that's not what we're targeting, the 20%. That's what we want, people who appreciate the plant as much as we do. And it's like, this is our contribution. This is our, you know, this is our representation of our art to grow it here. And we're really trying to go after the connoisseurs. And that's kind of our model, because we know that with 1,000 plant count license, how the hell are we ever going to compete with these guys that are like stacking licenses? You know what I mean? It's never going to happen. When federal legalization hits, you know, commercial.
I absolutely agree. Quality will always set you apart from everybody else. And, you know, in that aspect, yes, you're packaging. And as far as that goes, a lot of us are going to get lost unless we pull micro licenses right now. A lot of us are going to get lost in branding. That's the only way we'll be able to continue to brand ourselves. If not, we'll be lost to processing. They're just going to throw a sticker right over ours anyway and remarket it. But you're absolutely right. I agree. Quality first, 100%. That's absolutely true. Eagle eye, quality first. But you can't. Most people won't be able to do that fiscally, though. And most people will go for a quick flip strain. And as far as a home grower goes, I tried it. I can't mix a 12-weeker in with my perpetual harvest. It just throws everything off. I mean, I just can't do it.
And see, for me, I'd love to have it as a personal head stash. That's all I want it for. Is just like, hey, you know what? I got this bed and I run these lights and I can.
That's why I want to grow the
system.
Mac.
That's why, I mean, I can make it work in my system. So that's something I'm willing to try that not everybody else is. So I always give people like that a shout out.
The Mac is this plant for me. It's the one that's like the pain in the ass that you would never grow commercial, that I want to grow just for me, one off, my personal stash kind of deal. Yeah, that personifies that plant exactly.
I have to say, I don't think that grows are going to work well on a commercial scale if they don't operate in the way that Mitten Canico seems to be. Because like you said, Spartan, like you guys touch every plant. Like if you look in states like California and Washington, like where it's been legal for a while, you can find huge fucking grows for sale, like huge amounts of equipment, huge things, because people are buying into the market and then hiring people at $12 an hour because that's all they can really afford to pay them. And then who don't give a shit about the plant and who don't give a shit about what they're doing, and then they're failing. So it doesn't matter if you're pulling your lights or your plants at 60 days, if you don't know how to grow them and you don't give a shit about them throughout the process. I think that the companies that have the commercial license but run it like Spartan, you were talking about how like you get a chance to like pick the plants that go into your grow. Like obviously you're going to be into what's happening in those rooms because you have a say in it. And I think that the other people that I've heard that are working in these commercial grows aren't getting the opportunities to do that. So I think these big scale 1,000 light grows are going to start failing out. Like, yep, they'll be the Walmart meat, weed, like the shitty bud in dispensaries. They'll always be that. But I don't think that those are necessarily sustainable business models, because in other places where that's happening, those aren't sustaining themselves. You know what I mean? It's going to be the people that are like, yo, bust my ass for some GMO that's 77 days. Because that's what I want to be putting out and that's what I want to be smoking. You know what I mean? And then in 3 months, we'll run some other shit that's not 77-day GMO, but people want a GMO, so you put it out there.
Right.
So I think that is the way to do it.
How many people do you think are like me at the dispensary that they go in and they're looking for a certain strain and they're willing to pay, like, say, maybe an extra $10 or an extra $15 for that strain they're looking for?
That's
Like,
me
because
too.
if I see Tropicana cookies or if I see GMO or if I see the Mac, I'm more likely to buy it based on marketing or prior experience.
That's how I've ended up with GMO every time. Was I want to smell it. If I smell it, I'm probably going to buy it. If
I
it's
know that
right,
I've liked
I'm
it
gonna
every
get
time. It's not just the hype on
No,
these
it's
strains.
not hype. I know what these terps and all that good stuff do for me. Every time I smoke this, it's just great.
So are you willing to pay like an extra $10 for a gram of
Yes.
wax? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, to be honest with you, I don't like the flavor of GMO. I don't like that much garlic. I like garlic, but that's a lot of garlic, but I like the high, and and I like the potency and the high of it. So to me, it's not even an enticing. It's almost like the people that like a really skunky smell, something that's
A really strong
Me-
cheese.
Me again.
Yeah, some of the
Right. I'm
people
both
are
of
like,
those things.
yeah, so like they're appalled by it, but at the same time, when you fucking smell that, it reminds you of how good that felt. You know what I mean? At the same time, so that's kind of how the GMO is with me.
I like that it sounds really garlicky.
It's just, I'm going to kind of back up to what Kate was saying though, but she hit the nail kind of right on the head, and that's kind of what sold me on because to jump on team with them was that they're very team oriented. Like, shout out Michigan Matt. He said, when he was looking around to see, how do I be successful in this kind of an industry, and he went actually to Colorado. He's been to different commercial facilities, and you go to the ones that have the biggest reputation of being good. And he said the one thing that was common among all of them and all the ones that he's toured was they just had a really good team of employees, and so that's what they really foster there. And so I mean, she's 100% right. Everybody gives a shit. Because everybody has an input. Hey, can we do this? Hey, should we do this? Like, this is the list of things we have to get done. How should we tackle this? And everybody's input kind of matters. So, when you're treated that way by the people above you, you really give a shit and you really care. So I think that's a real big key. And Kate was kind of touching on it, and I just wanted to agree with her.
It's important to every job, right? I mean, I think everybody likes it more if when you say something, your boss listens. It's a
think
good
about
place to
this.
work.
Dude, you look at what you've learned from them, though. Like, you already were an established grower doing it your own very specific way. And you being you are able to be flexible enough to be able to work outside of your comfort zone. And at the same time, be that team player. Look at all the things that you've learned from them through that partnership.
Oh yeah, and that's why that was a major attraction for me to take the job anyway, because I knew I'd be able to learn so much. I mean, if you want to be, look around yourself, and if all of the people that you hang around are what you considered less skilled than you're holding yourself back. Surround yourself by people that you look up to. Every one of you guys, you far surpass me in the knowledge in some place where I'm weak. You know what I mean? So to be in a group like that, and I feel the same way there. And these guys are growing hydroponically, which is kind of my weak suit, and they're just like fucking killing it. So, not only do they have, good practices there that I'm trying to pick up for myself, and I'm learning that, but also they have access to, some outstanding genetics. And, sometimes it's hype genetics or hype genetics, and sometimes they're hype for a reason.
Dude,
So
it's
really
medicine
exciting
for me. So it's not hype genetics. It's medicine.
Yeah.
It works. I smoke it. I feel better. That's medicine.
Some of
I'm
them
good
are
with that.
hype. I mean, some of them
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Some of them
So
are.
Of the newer
some
stuff
aren't,
does
some are.
not do the trick for me, and everybody else likes them. If I have a choice between that and something else, I'll pick something else. I'm not going to name what they are because it's not important, but it's just that it doesn't have what I need it to be. So it's cool. I don't hate on it.
But at the
I
same
miss the
time,
drama though.
yeah, but at the same time, it's like I'm a kid at a candy store. I want to try them all. I don't care if they're hype or not hype. Let me judge for myself. And just being exposed to being able to go to work and be exposed to new plants and new genetics that I don't have, that I haven't grown before. But now, now I'm growing there too. So now I'm really being exposed to way more plants. It's really fucking cool, you know. And I don't care if it's hype or not hype. If I've never grown it before, I'm down for growing it. I mean, I want to grow all the damn plants. You know what I mean?
I'm jealous of your job, man. For sure. How you doing, old man?
Good. Soaking it up, you know.
You're laying back in the cut. I wanted to make sure you're conscious.
Did you
Yeah.
get some pie tonight? Is that what the thing is? You get into those edibles a little too deep?
Yeah, there was some leftovers that I had to finish up some stuff.
You had to, right?
Yeah. I woke up early, all motivated, you know, from talking to you guys, and ran to the grow store, did a bunch of shit in my grow all day, and, you know, finished up.
How's that plant looking that I broke while Skilbo was getting a shotgun aimed at him?
Can't even
Beefier.
notice.
Perfect.
Can't even notice. Beautiful. I think it's a male, so no worries.
Did you try any Kool-Aid today?
I haven't. Did you leave some here?
Yeah, I left
All of
a
it
big
there.
container.
Wow.
All of the
Oh,
Kool-Aid
man.
is at your house, dude.
I looked in my fridge and I didn't see it.
Maybe your wife drank it.
She probably did.
Maybe the cats got into it. You know, they were.
You so gotta fucking try drying that, dude. You can make little Kool-Aid pouches. It'd be fun.
Oh, dude, you gotta try to dry that. That'd be cool.
I think that was a really
fun dip.
cool part, man. When you know we were watching the timer come down, everybody's been kicking it all day. Timer goes off, busts it out. Like, I learned a lot of shit yesterday. It was really, really cool, man.
Can you make medicated fun dip, old man? That would be really good in the freeze dryer.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's simple syrup, dehydrated mostly. I mean, not dehydrated.
Pretty cool, right?
Freeze dried. Completely different than dehydration, but yeah, same sort of thing, I guess, for sure.
And you could
It's
do like the
powdered.
fun dip style stick where you have the sweet tart, and then we could use some of the Candy Cake Nerds and put that on the sweet tart for the dipping stick. What do you think?
I have citric acid. We could make certainly some sour whatever. Like, it would be perfect. We could do it for sure.
You don't even have to freeze dry it. You can just make like sucker syrup basically and then pour it out on like a silpat, or it'd probably work on parchment paper, and then just shatter it really good. Like either put it in a really good bag and like smash it up a ton, or like whatever, yeah, and then mix citric acid in there and it would make it sour. Yeah, you could just make sugar and crush it up. You don't even have to freeze dry it.
We need to focus more on
Shit
edibles
sounds
in this show, man.
delicious.
We got to focus more on this. We always kind of just glide around it.
Someone's $1 million idea right there. You know what I mean?
I mean, it
Or
was
maybe
my,
even-
my it was my idea.
Maybe
So
even
give me $20.
A gram.
I always tell all my friends if they win the lottery, I want $20.
No, it's a good idea. We should do that for sure. I'm excited. I've got so many things to do, but you know, I started this new job and whatnot, and I've given up a little bit of my time doing some of those things for a little bit more security, which is okay. But I got a little less free time. But the freeze dryer just runs. It's pretty much push button, so I can load that thing up almost any time.
Telling you, we got to get some matching aprons and some hats, and we got to do a little cooking show one time. I think that'd be great. So we all make a lot of cool stuff. I think people will enjoy that.
Sure.
I want to like host a medicated dinner. I like medicating shit that's not just sugar. Like
Can you medicate barbecued ribs? That'd be delicious.
dude, I made you medicated jerky, or you had my medicated jerky.
Oh yeah, it's true. I still have some.
I've been
So,
wanting
like-
that medicated jerky for a long time.
Well, the secret is the shortcut, which is to make medicated barbecue sauce, and then you can do a lot with it from there.
Our next get together, I'll make some medicated barbecue ribs,
No, pulled pork, man.
pulled pork. I can do hot wings, all that good stuff.
The thing about Kate's jerky was it was the best jerky I ever had. Medicated or not, the jerky itself was delicious. And that's the trick. It's like most people, when they do jerky at home, they completely screw it up. It's like almost never good.
And the same
Yeah.
thing goes for the pumpkin pie, man. I couldn't have one piece. I ate two. It's fuck this. I'm eating both of these. Shit was fucking good. I mean, it tastes like fucking straight up good ass pumpkin pie.
I want some medicated venison, Kate, if you ever do it.
Dude, I want to kill a deer this year. It's like my goal to kill one on purpose.
I used to have a hookup where I could go to one of the processing places and just pay the processing fee because they would always have people that would drop off and never pick up. So I could just like get the backdoor deal and just go pay the processing fee, and they just fucking give it to me out the back door. And unfortunately,
That's the hookup.
yeah, unfortunately, my hookup
That guy got fired for embezzling.
No, that guy didn't work there. He knew the guy that worked there, but that guy ended up screwing me out of some money, so I can't really talk to him anymore and use that hookup.
I didn't get any of said jerky, and I'm kind of bummed, man. That would have been nice.
Dude, I forgot it in my fridge. It was one of the things that I had meant to bring because I have a bag of it that I'm never going to eat all of. And I forgot it. It was super bummed.
Like total deer hunter season thing. You know what I mean? Dudes take the medicated jerky out there. That
Oh, man.
So actually, I used to hate jerky because when I went to school in the Upper Peninsula, I rode downstate for Christmas one time with a dude who his car heater was broken. So he had this it plugged into the cigarette.
Jankyville,
Yeah, and it was so he had it so it was blowing directly on me, and he was eating this teriyaki jerky. It was an 8-hour drive. So for 8 hours, I just had warm teriyaki jerky smell wafted into my face, and it made me super nauseous. So I hated jerky for a while. And then
classical conditioning, for sure,
meditating
man.
and smoking it, and now I like it again.
That's one of my favorite jerky flavors too, is teriyaki. That's funny.
I can't do teriyaki wings. The jerky's okay.
I can't handle buffalo anything. So that buffalo sauce, that drives me insane. I can't eat that
I
stuff.
put it on eggs. Love that.
At home buffalo sauce is super easy. It's just Frank's Red Hot and butter, half and half.
Kate knows how to make wangs.
Kate's always killing me with pictures of food in chat. It makes me so fucking hungry all the time I look in there.
Right?
You guys kill me with a whole bunch of food I can't have, man. I had chicken wings today. They were so good. I wish they were medicated though. Oh man.
Yeah, Red, you didn't get to eat my my dip that everyone was raving about.
Was it medicated dip?
No, it wasn't medicated, but it had cream cheese in it. Here's
Oh,
old man
my.
showing off one of Miss Cantaloupe's pies.
I know my wife's seen that, and she
Oh,
was
that's
like,
so
"Oh my
clever.
god,
That's
those
cool.
look so pretty." I said, "Yeah, somebody put the love into it."
Thank you.
I was peeling the leaves off and eating
Did you
them one
see
by
him?
one.
Did you see him with that whipped cream? He was getting ready to get on with it, man.
He was doing a dab. I was doing those at his house. His wife didn't even say anything. She's been conditioned. She was like, "Yeah, it's totally normal. Dudes just do that." I was doing dabs in his kitchen, just like that. Yep. It's like stealing cheese out of the fridge. Stuff like that. It makes life worth living, you know?
Make sure you set your alarm in the morning, man. I don't want you to be late for work with these fucking edibles get you in its clutches.
I just want to say, because it's getting close to the end of the show, and it hasn't been brought up, that we had a couple people show up wearing the exact same shirt. It was almost as if it was planned. Like they just wanted to
Oh,
be
that was
printed.
weird, wasn't it?
So I had to bring that up just to maybe Sequence or maybe Oh Man, one of those guys. I mean, I don't know.
They
how
both
that
had the
happened.
Kyle Gardner on, man. They both had the Kyle Gardner, and it was really
Yeah,
awkward.
so-
It was funny, but it was awkward.
Well, he shows up to my house wearing the shirt that I'm wearing, right? So I'm like, change your shirt, what the fuck? And then he didn't. So it took me a while, and I didn't make it back to the house for a while. So
For like 6 hours.
Dude, that's the thing is we partied in the kitchen, the three of us, me, you, and Old Man partied in the kitchen for 2 hours? We were sitting there smoking and bullshit.
Before anyone showed up.
Yeah, nobody else is there, man. We breezed through this. We were there for 12 hours, man. This is an epic journey.
It was
before the
fine.
main pictures were taken, I think I got it changed though. That's the important.
Can we give Sequence a shout out for his really, really fancy background that he's got going on now? Go ahead and focus your camera on yourself for a minute.
That's the last thing I want to do is focus the camera on me. Hold on.
Doesn't he look legit
That
like
should
that?
work.
Like the
I
dank
like how-
news?
I I like how when he exhales smoke, he goes foggy, but the background doesn't. I think
I
know.
was thinking
He
that I
gives a
love when I
teleporter.
exhale smoke, I go invisible almost. I gotta roll another joint and do that while we continue here.
Shout out on that fucking smoke again, man. Woo, it is got the red setter approval for the psychedelicness.
Yeah, I noticed that background on the other podcast, and it was fucking awesome, man. I really like it. I think that's cool. That's that virtual background.
Yeah.
Is that my girl in the background? My sour
With
melon?
green screen. Sour melon would be I mirrored. Fuck, I can't get out of the way.
Right
It's
over your
hard, dude, I
shoulder,
know.
if I'm right. Yeah.
Right there.
sequence
That one.
weather.
I cannot do the weather. Yeah, okay, so it's
Keep
mirrored
Vanna
this
White
way.
better.
Never make fun of
this is
weather
my
girls
right
again.
hand. This is my right hand with the smiley face.
That's your Michigan hand.
This is my left hand. So my left hand's on the
That's
right
your
side of the
non-Michigan
screen.
hand.
This is me pointing to the right. That's on the left side of the screen. What is this stuff? And then you smoke, and then you got to try to host a show and keep banning this guy from chat. It keeps spamming his show. It's tough. It's tough sledding out here. Now I got to roll a joint. Someone else talk.
We love you, bro.
Save me.
I can't wait to be able to hang out with you guys for longer than 2
Oh,
hours.
it's so
man.
great, man. You were so fun.
It was,
And the whole time you were just packing gifts so you could give them away. The whole time you were there.
Can you talk about those seeds
It
for a
was
minute
fun,
that you
man.
were sitting there bucking for us? The whole time you were kicking it with me, I'm trimming, you're bucking.
Granddaddy Purple outdoor in my no-till beds, and a blueberry, DJ Shorts blueberry out in my no-till beds, and pretty much everything else out there. I get seeded up by a well, it's supposed to be a hemp male. It never got tested, but the seed pack said it was less than 0.3% THC, and it said that the CBD range was like 12 to 14% CBD. So I think I said that right. Did I say less than 0.3 THC and 14 CBD? Okay, cool. I've been sitting here smoking hash. And let's see here. So I let that male go, and that's basically what that is. So those seeds, the Granddaddy Purple seeds with high CBD male, and DJ Short Blueberry with a high CBD male. So yeah, I hope
I wanna
everybody
try
gets,
one. I
some
do.
good medicine, man.
I wonder what the numbers would be like. I'm sure that some of them would be regular, whatever the numbers were for the moms. You know what I mean? Some that'll be like mom. Then there'll be some that are like dad, and then there'll be some that are in between. So maybe you might see something where you get, let's say, 12% CBD with maybe a possibly 12 to 16 to 17% possibly THC would be the unicorn of the pack for you you're looking for.
I'm thinking there's a 1-to-1. I'm thinking there's a 2-to-1. I don't know, but I'm definitely thinking there's a 1-to-1 in there. There might even be some drifters and some low CBD. Maybe you might get in the 1 to 2% range, and in the normal like GDP 15 to 18% range. Maybe you'll get something like that.
I want to give you a shout out too on that Death Star smoke down yesterday. That was the real deal Death Star, man. I haven't tasted that in years. I've had things that were called Death Star, but it didn't have that same flavor that yours is rocking. So nice job, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that was that dry sift. I'm pretty sure I left you guys with that dry sift. Yeah, the dry sift and the bubble hash were both Death Star. That dry sift is like a reserve batch from 2008, like March of 2018. So still good, still fresh. It was all fresh heads, off a wonderful batch. I'm really glad that you like that, man. Are those Death Star seeds right there? Beautiful.
No, those aren't the seeds. That's the
Dark
hash.
Star. Oh, that's that hash. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. There's a good 2 grams laid out there for you. So enjoy it, man.
Yeah, and
Nice
respect to Red, man. He comes in and he travels in fucking class. He comes in with his briefcase. His briefcase just packed to the gills with all kinds of weed, little treats. It was fucking. I took a picture, man. I think I put it up on Instagram.
Backpack and my briefcase, man. Traveling road show.
Rock in, rock out. Exactly. There it is, the jar.
Man.
All right, guys. We got 5 minutes. Does anybody have anything they wanted to talk about before we got off here they haven't been able to talk about? We good for sign-offs?
I just wanted to shout out all the veterans out there. We got Veterans Day tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You know, we got some on the panel, and you know, mad respect for me. Thanks for your service. I super appreciate it. I've got a lot of veterans in my family, so enjoy your day tomorrow.
Smoke a
Oh,
bowl.
yeah. I second that. Shout out to the veterans.
All right, Red, you're first up.
All right, well, let's see here. Red Setter Farm. You can find me on Instagram, Cannabis, Strainly. Maybe you'll get to find some of these seeds out on Strainly one of these days. We'll see how they work out. And I just want to thank everybody for this past weekend. Even though it was a short experience, you know, I had a great time hanging out with you guys. Shout out to the panel. Eagle, hopefully we'll still get to meet. Hopefully one of these days real soon, brother. You know, I know it's rough, man. I know you're busy. We all are. So keep out the good work, man. Keep up the good fight down there. I want to shout out the chat, man. You guys are on fire. I've been totally just following along tonight, and you guys are kicking ass tonight. So Sequence, nice job handling what you've been doing over there too, man. Rock and roll, everybody. Thank you.
Abolished and Miss C.
Abolish Farms. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and wherever you see any fine productions from the Michigan Bros Grill Show.
And you can find me on Instagram at Miss Yellow.
And I got a shout out, of course, to the chat, to the bros and gals here on the panel here. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. And yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say thank you everyone for like contributing and making it easy to like help get together. It was definitely a nice little group effort and stuff. And once again, thank you so much, Old Man and the wife, for letting us come into your space and take over for a little while.
I got him a lamp. It's fine.
Yeah. And may the force be with you.
Spartan, you're up.
Hey, well, you can find me on Instagram as Spartan Grown, or you can check me out at work at Mint and Canico, or, you know, catch me here on YouTube at the Michigan Bros Grow Show. This is my family right here, so I'll hang out here every Sunday as much as possible.
You also find Spartan on the Growing with My Fellow Growers show at 7.
Yes. Also, thank you. See, I told you, just like my family, they got my back.
That's right.
Growers love everybody.
Canicate. Where can everyone find you?
On Instagram at the Canicate, and every Sunday on here. I just want to say thank you to everybody for this weekend. I had a blast. It was so much fun. Like, it was the least stressful Friendsgiving I think I've ever done, for sure. And like, so yeah, like as soon as I showed up, Brad was like hugging seeds and like making these like little gift bags. At the end of the night, it kept being like, oh my gosh, everybody has such good goodie bags to like go home with, you know, like it was so cool to be able to like see everybody's shit and share everybody's stuff. Like I know before last week I was like abolished. I'm super excited to smoke the OG, and then I got to take some home. So like all of that shit was so cool. So thank you all again. Can't wait for the next one.
You know, it's almost like Christmas to me. It's like it's almost more fun in the giving than it is the receiving. Even at times, it's just like, oh my god, this is so awesome, and then to be high on top of all that, so it just enhances the experience.
Hey, you might not believe it, but we're like this at all the events. I mean, this is the second time you smoked with us, but the first time was just for a little bit, but this time was the whole time, and we're like this always.
Exactly.
Eagle, where can everyone find you?
But I hung in there
yeah.
this time. Remember, you were like,
You
"Careful,
did.
you smoke a lot."
Yeah, you got to be careful. See, I thought it was cool that when I turned around and you were the only one grabbing the dab rig and doing dabs. So credit to you. The brave Kate.
It was bad enough that I was missing a good sesh with you guys, but you guys did a wonderful job of making me regret not being there yesterday. But you will not get me to miss the next one for sure. and this is too much to live this down. And I enjoy seeing you guys every week. And don't look for me. Find something better to do. Thanks for showing up. And
Eagle's got new
And,
content on YouTube. Check it out.
Garden looking really
Yeah.
clean over there too, brother.
Watch it if you have nothing better to do, like if you're on the pooper or something.
Thank you very much, Eagle. The only thing that would have made the party better would have been if you were there. Then it would have really looked like a meme picture on the couch.
Shut up.
thank you for at least remembering me in bottle form. That was awesome.
Yeah, I always think about you in bottle form.
Kate, we got a genuine rise out of you on that one.
It was a good joke. Was it
Good
you?
shit.
Good
It was me. I made that shit.
Good joke.
It totally made me smile. It did.
Old man Hermit Hash.
Well, you nearly can't find me because I'm a hermit, but I am on Instagram occasionally. Not always.
Notably,
Amazing weekend.
yeah.
What an amazing weekend, right? I don't know, like Kate was saying, it was just easy going the whole time, even as a host, you know, you get that people are coming over, oh my God, my shit's gotta be a certain way. And like the night before, I just gave up. I was like, I don't care, they're gonna come and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And that was the way it was. And it just stayed that way the whole time. And nobody gave a shit about anything. Skillbo's grabbing plants down, just trimming, it was cool because at the end of the night, that was like, what he got take home stuff, trimmed, was cool. I don't know, man. I got to get a couple fantastic genetics. Super excited. Blue cough, stuff like that. Beautiful genetics. But it was an honor to have people in my home that I didn't have to worry about stealing my shit, except for my mammoth pee. I hid that. I got a little bottle of that shit. I put it around the back of some other stuff so no one took it. The only thing I'm worried about. But I don't know, man. It was a great time. I can't wait to get together with you guys again. Happy Veterans Day to the veterans tomorrow. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks, old man. Scobo, what's up?
You can find me on Instagram and on here, Skillbo1. I'm also on Cannabis. I just wanted to say thanks to the hosts. And as always, it's just been a lot of fun. I get something every week from just kicking it with you guys. Your cool rubs off on me. So, I just want to say thanks to everybody that's here hanging out tonight. I dig the positive vibes we always have. So, thank you.
Thanks, Scobo. You've been listening to Michigan Bros Grow Show. If you like this stuff, subscribe. Please follow these fine people right here. They're all awesome. Very genuine people. They won't steal anything, even your mammoth pee. Me and old man actually had a conversation about that. That was a true story. Hilarious. Have a good night.